left as homeless and that you have no place to go, you have nobody to go to, and it's great that you have a friend here with you, but God wants you to know you are not abandoned. You are not left as someone that's not worth anything. He loves you, he cares about you, and I really feel right now that you're going to begin to feel that burden that you felt, that you were at fault, and that you did something for this to happen is just going to leave. Because God says it was not your fault, and it was not something you did, but it's something the enemy has tried to use to actually draw you away from God. So, Father, I just pray right now for Casey. Father, I break the power now of rejection. I break the power of the feeling that her life is not worth anything. And Father, I declare now that she is valuable to you, that you love her, that you care about her. And Father, I declare to her right now that this is just a bump on the road right now that she's overcoming. And Father, even though it feels like the whole world fell apart over the last few weeks, I actually see over the last 2 weeks this thing has been building up and it just exploded. And God says this thing is not going to last long for you. God says that he's going to actually promote you in many different areas of your life. I see a lot of changes beginning to happen in you that are going to actually be noticed by your family. And it's almost like they even pointed the finger at you and said, look at this. This is your fault. This is what you did. But God says, no. God says, I'm going to change your heart. And God says, I am going to renew your heart and I'm going to renew your mind. And God says, you're going to see things from a different perspective. And when you see those things, God says, you're going to be one that overcomes and one that brings restoration to your family. Now, I don't know why I keep seeing a young person, like a young man, and God's going to connect you with someone that is going to bring restoration to your heart about having faith again in those figures of your friends in your life. It's almost like it's not just been within your family, it's not just been with your parents that have been betrayals, but it also has been at the level of friendships. And it's almost like God's going to connect you soon with a lot of young people that are going to actually bring hope to you. And God says you're going to feel like you found a new family. But God says the key here is this. God says don't think your life has nothing. God says you are valuable to him. And I don't know, I keep feeling impressed about this thing, but there was a moment recent where you felt like even taking your life was probably the better option. So any thing like that, God says don't even go there. He says he has a future for you and a hope for you. And God says that today, this is the reason why he drew us to you, because he has a hope and a future for you. So Father, I just pray for her right now. And Father, I just thank you for having led us here, Father, to speak into her life. And Father, I just thank you right now for protecting her and for keeping her from harm's way. And Father, I just thank you right now that you're going to restore hope and vision in her heart. And that she's going to go to places that nobody has been in her family before. There is a dream that you have about going to different places. And there are places where you think like, there's no way I'm going to make it there. And God says, begin to dream even bigger. Begin to dream even bigger. I see this as a moment where God says, I am restoring hope and vision and new dreams in you. And God says, you're going to go to many different places. I see you traveling to different places that you want to go to. And God says, I'm going to restore hope in you. And God says, but when I take you there, God says, you're going to be hope for somebody else. Because you'll never forget this moment. You'll never forget this moment. And you're going to bring hope to so many people. Now, I also hear God saying that there's a dream inside of you about mentoring and about teaching and about helping people overcome things in their lives. And God says that you are going to begin to do that. I don't know if you love kids or not, but I see you actually with a lot of kids around you. And I see you just like holding their hands and walking with them, telling them stories and doing all this stuff. So I see you bringing hope and vision to other people. Do you have something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two things. One, I just kept hearing what I call the justice of God, where he's really zealous over the justice of his children. And I really felt like the Lord was saying that your innocence was actually stolen from you. And that God is restoring that purity that you believed was lost. And that you think that in the natural that you can't get that back, but God says spiritually, which the natural comes out of the spiritual realm. You'll learn this. But God is restoring that. I just see that virgin purity to you right now. And I see just a picture of my mind, like there's this little baby girl that is just dancing on your knees. And you're going to be an awesome mom. I want you to know that. The Lord wants you to know you're going to be an awesome, awesome mom. So many years ahead of you, that art that's inside of you, there's an art that's in you. I don't know what you do or where that creativity is, but it's going to be like a worship to God when you release that. And it's going to just, you're going to feel like a volcano of life is just being let outside of you. And that's God's life.
Before they were even talking, I know that you don't know me, and I know that I'm not very old, but I help lead this young adults group, and I actually am a mother figure to a lot of young adults, people that are under me. And if you're willing, can I give you a hug? And God said that He just wanted to give you an experience of the mama's touch, because you haven't experienced the true love from a mother.
Yeah,